This podcast is co-created and co-produced by the Food Allergy Institute and the 12 Company. Listeners should know that the podcast host, Lesley-Anne Stone, is not a physician nor a licensed medical professional, and the purpose of this podcast is strictly limited to storytelling. Any content shared within the podcast is not intended to be medical advice and should not be used for diagnosis or treatment purposes. All listeners are urged to consult their healthcare providers. The creators, hosts, and guests of this podcast are not liable for any decisions or actions taken by any persons who claim to rely upon the content of this podcast. Hi, I'm Lesley-Anne Stone, and this is Resilience and Hope, a food allergy podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a very special guest who's traveled very far to be with us today. Her name is Alexia Yunus. Alexia has 2 kids in the Tolerance Induction Program at the Food Allergy Institute, and they travel from London, from the UK, to Long Beach, California for treatment. And she's here today to tell us all about what that journey is like and what her journey is like as a food allergy mom. So without further ado, here's my friend, Alexia Yunus. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So I think it's so amazing that you're here from London in California. You had an appointment this morning with your 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the Food Allergy Institute. But we met serendipitously. Over the summer in July at a event for TPERC, which is the philanthropy arm, the research arm for the Food Allergy Institute.
Yeah.
We were at the Long Beach Aquarium. And I remember when I met you, your husband was wearing a jersey for Arsenal.
Yes, he is a huge Arsenal fan, definitely.
Yes. And for our listeners, Arsenal is a huge football club, soccer in America, football in the UK. And I had just come back from London. And my older son, Sam, who's been through the Tolerance Induction Program, is a huge soccer fan. He was like, it's an Arsenal shirt. I remember approaching you guys and he had this British accent. And I was like, what's happening? And that's when you told me that you have 5 kids.
5 kids, yep. And our oldest is only 5.
Yes. Ages 5 and under,
Yeah.
5 kids. And you travel in with 2 of your kids to the Food Allergy Institute for treatment. Your 2 older ones. Adonai is 5 and Eliana is 4.
Yeah.
And you have a 2.5-year-old and you have twin babies who are 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we're a busy house.
Yeah, I bow down to you, Alexia. I bow down to you. So 5 kids, ages 5 and under, and you travel from the UK to Long Beach for treatment for Adonai and Eliana. So let's start with the big question. You're in London.
Yeah.
You are American, I can hear from your
Yes.
accent. So I know we talked, you're originally from Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle.
So my first question for you is, how in London did you discover the Food Allergy Institute?
So it was one of those moments when you were like, so as a food allergy mom, right? My son's getting older and all the advice we were given was like, oh, maybe he'll grow out of these allergies. Let's keep testing. And he was around 3 years old and he hadn't grown out of any of his allergies. Like we kept doing what the doctors were telling us and nothing changed. And my husband kept saying to me, like, if we don't give him these foods, like how is he ever going to grow out of these allergies? And I was like, I have no idea because we don't have food allergies ourselves. So we're researching, we're looking into things. We found something in the UK called Palforzia, which is like a peanut pill that's basically gives you bite-sized protection from peanuts. So I asked one of the doctors about it and he just was like, oh, we can't do it until they're 4. And like didn't give us much information. So I thought, okay, I'm going to research it and find everything out. And then I was on Facebook and there was this sponsored ad for the Food Allergy Institute. And I thought, what is this? And it talked about food freedom. And I thought, this is fake. Like this can't be anything real. But it just got in my head. So I had to look it up and go through it. And then I told my husband, I said, I found this clinic in California that says they give food freedom. And we both just were in awe. So we researched it like crazy. We ended up finding somebody in the UK, so it was like a local newspaper there, whose son had been through the program and he was in remission. So I found this mom on Facebook and I said, hey, is this your son? This article, if it is, please, can I talk to you? And thankfully she replied and it was her. And we spoke on the phone and she's in a different part of the UK than I am. But she told me everything. And she said, yeah, they traveled through COVID. Like they went through the whole program. And now her son, he had multiple allergies, is freely eating everything. And I was just so happy to find somebody, a real person who did this. And then she put me in contact with some other families in the UK who are currently in the program as well. So then I spoke to them as well. They told me everything. So I kept just finding people. And then I started looking on social media. I used social media before, but not for anything food allergy related. And so then I just started seeing all these families that were doing it. And I thought to my husband, I was like, we have to try this. Like, I don't know if it's really going to work, but we have to at least try. And then we have relatives here in California who we asked them, hey, have you ever heard of this? And they thought it kind of sounded familiar. And they ended up finding one of their friends' children had been through it. So we spoke to them. So we spoke to a million people.
You did your research.
We definitely did our research. And then we were still skeptical about it. And we were very much like, okay, we're just going to do the testing. Like, we're just going to start and just see what happens. And if we got, if we came here and went to the clinic and didn't feel comfortable, we were like, no, we'll just leave. Like, what's the worst that happens? We just waste some money, no big deal. But as soon as we came, we just had that really good feeling that you get when you go in the clinic, like all the doctors, everyone's so genuine. And then we just went through the steps and we wanted to see how it really was going to be. So we first signed up our son, Adonai, our oldest, because he has multiple food allergies.
What are Adonai's
So
food
he
allergies?
has cow's milk, peanuts, cashews, pistachios. That's what we were aware of, like, as his anaphylactic allergies. We knew he had a little sensitivity to walnut and sesame. And then from the testing, he's also anaphylactic to those as well. So we thought, let's start it with him, because our daughter, Eliana, she did have a minor, well, not minor, she did have a reaction to cow's milk when she was young, but it was kind of like a little blip because she grew out of it. And we did a food challenge and she was consuming that, but she still was anaphylactic to sesame. So we thought we didn't want to do both at the same time because, one, we weren't fully sure if it was going to work, and it's a lot of money and it's a lot of work, right? So we thought, let's start with him and go through it and see. And then as we went through all of our appointments, each time we saw it was working and we thought, okay, we're going to sign her up too. There's no way we're not going to do it because we know it works and we have to give our children food freedom. Like, they both have to have that. So now we're just, we're so excited because they're getting so close to the end. So hopefully by, the end of the summer, early fall, they should be both at remission. So we're just,
amazing.
so excited.
So what is it like traveling from the UK to Long Beach? My understanding is you come about once every 4 months.
Yeah, it's about every 3 to 4 months, just depending on how long your cycle is. At the beginning, it was a lot more stressful. We did fly before. It's not like we never flew with our kids because I'm from Seattle, so we have done long haul flights. But just allergy families know, like, the anxiety of getting on a plane and what residue is going to be on the seats and all of that. So you have to bring our own food with us, get on the plane early, wipe down, and it's a 10, 11-hour flight. Like, it's a lot. And then with little ones, you have their jet lag and all of that. So we do have usually about a week that takes us to come out, depending on how many appointments we have. And then now it's getting a little bit shorter because we're getting close to the end. So Adonai's treated most of his foods, and tomorrow has his last intro. So he's going to be introducing uncooked cow milk, which is the last.
Uncooked cow milk.
Yes, which before he couldn't even touch. So it's like,
wow,
it's amazing.
And you're doing this with 5 kids.
Yes.
Well, I do want to acknowledge they are off camera right now. They're here. They're very sweet.
They are.
You have and I've met your entire family. You have a beautiful family.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful people. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
I bow down to you. Amazing job. So let's talk about Adonai's milk allergy. Can you tell us what that treatment is like? Because we've never really gone into detail on the show about what it's like to be anaphylactic to dairy, to milk, and then what that treatment process is like. So
yeah, it's a lot. For him, that, according to the testing through tip, that's his most anaphylactic food. So that one, there's so many steps we had to go through to get to this uncooked cow milk. So we started off, we went through mare milk, we went through donkey milk, boiled camel milk, uncooked camel milk, sheep yogurt, clarified butter. Like, we've gone through it all. And then, so today he had a challenge for cow yogurt. So he consumed 60 ml of cow yogurt, exercised, everything was good. He's really excited about that because that means he doesn't have to eat sheep yogurt anymore.
Congratulations.
He wasn't a fan of. But yeah, so it's a lot of steps and a lot of prep. So for us being in the UK, the difference too is some of the milks come in like a powder form. So we would buy them here. The tip recommended brands and bring it with us. But like the fresh ones, we need to get our own fresh version in the UK. So thankfully, we're a part of a WhatsApp group for a lot of UK families, and we all kind of share the products that we get approved through TIP. So when he started cow yogurt, for example, one of the other moms told me, hey, this is the one we use, and the clinic approved it, and it just helps each other out. And then when we travel, because they want you to use the food that you're eating at home to do all the challenges, so we'll bring it back with us. So yeah, there's a lot of steps, but I'm just so excited to be at the point where we can just have cow milk. Either right now he has it boiled in the morning and then he's going to have the fresh one, but not have to mix anything, or that all of that prep just is a lot, but it was definitely worth it.
And you have babies in the house
Yeah.
drinking milk. So what that threat is like to have babies with a baby bottle, and then Adonai has this allergy.
Yeah. So we've always, especially once we found out about TIP and the way like allergies can, work, right? So with the early introduction for other children, we didn't want to completely cut out the allergens in our house because we were scared we would risk giving allergy, like if they don't consume the food, maybe they would get allergies too. So for us, with our other children, we never completely cut out the allergens at our home. We would always do it like in a controlled way. So for example, when Adonai would be at school, I would give the other kids the foods that he couldn't have just to keep the risk down for cross-contamination. And our babies, the twins, before they turned 1, it was easy. You'd give them a bottle, you'd hold them, and you'd give the bottle directly. But thankfully, it kind of went hand in hand when he passed cow milk cross-contamination. When we met you, that was that trip. It was just before they turned 1. So after that, when we knew he passed cross-contamination, we were like, okay, we can give them a bottle. They can hold it. They're 1 now. They don't want you to feed them a bottle. So they can hold it themselves. They can walk around the house. They can splash the milk. Whereas before, I wouldn't have done that. It's like with my other children, with Eliana and Dario, I never did that with the cow. So once they were old enough, we were still giving them the cow milk behind the scenes, but they would have oat milk or almond milk, whatever milk, when they were walking around. So just the fact that we can do that now, and they'll splash it on the floor, and now I just kind of wipe it up. I don't like sanitize the whole house now because we have a spillage. It makes all the difference and relieves the stress so much for myself and my husband that obviously we try not to show to our kids, and we all of us always hide it behind the scenes. But now just to have those little normal life aspects already is giving us a taste for what it's going to be like once we're finished. And, it's not long until then.
It's not long.
Yeah.
The light at the end of the tunnel, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Tell me about this WhatsApp. Yeah. Tell me about this WhatsApp group.
So there's 2 groups I'm in. So one of them is for Europe. So there's about 60 families in that group. I know there's more than that families into it, but 60 of us have found this WhatsApp group and just kind of share information and ask questions, things that are more relevant to all of us. And then we also have like a UK, now that there's more families in the UK, we have a UK group of about 30 people. And we've done a few like Zoom calls where we've met each other, and we've met some of them when we've been on trips here. So the last time we came, we met a family from Austria that we've talked to on social media, and they're kind of close in the same state. They're a little bit ahead. I think they're a few months ahead of us kind of thing. But we've met some of these families, and a few of the families have been people who reached out to me once I started posting on social media, because once I found out about this, I was like, I need to share it with people, right? If I can help one person find this, like, I feel good because I'm just so thankful I found it from someone else. So there's been some people who've reached out to me asking me questions, and there's one of the moms that they've signed up now, and it just makes me so happy to like have this little community and know that I've helped people by sharing our story. And it's so worth it. Like before, I used social media to talk to my friends who I knew, but I'm just so happy to share it because the only thing I wish is that I knew about this earlier, like being able to finish this before, hopefully around the time like my son is like 6 or before he's 7, like I'm so excited because he'll be able to just go to the parties, do all the normal things, and not have to worry about
this will all be in the rearview mirror, and he may not remember a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that it was Sam graduating when he was 5 and just not remembering a lot of it. Share with us what your friends and family in the UK think about what you're doing.
Yeah. So a lot of people, like when we first found out about it, like I told you, we were still skeptical as well. So a lot of people were like, what are you doing? Traveling all the way over there, like spending all this money to do something like, well, why can't you do this in the UK? Surely you can do something. And I'm like, it doesn't exist. Like there's nothing the same. There's nothing that can give us food freedom. And, there was a few of them, they didn't really like say it like outright, but in their minds, now I know because they've told me, now that they're seeing his progress, they feel comfortable to tell me like, I thought you were crazy at the beginning, right? Like, this just sounds just like a crazy idea. But now that they see the proof and they can see him eating the foods and they can see what's happened, like, they all 100% back us with it. But I know a lot, like, my brother said to me when I first told him about it, he was like, how are you going to get him to eat those foods? Like, he was 3 when we started, he's going to be a picky eater. What if he doesn't eat it? And I was just like, I don't know. I'm just going to try, because if I don't try, I'm always going to have it in the back of my mind. So once we found out of it, probably within a month that we actually signed up and booked our tickets to come out, because we were like, we have to try whatever we can.
Amazing. So what would you say to families in the UK who have food allergy kids who are considering this program? What would you say to those
Yeah,
people?
I'd say definitely go in with an open mind. Like, there's going to be people who don't agree with you, and you don't have to worry about them. Like, what we went through is we were like, okay, let's just take it step by step. Like, it feels like a big deal when you sign up and you feel like you're like locked into this thing, but you're not. You could stop it if it doesn't work for you for any reason, but it will make your whole life so much better in the long run. Like, we're not even finished yet, and we're already getting this different taste of freedom that we didn't have before. Being able to go, like, this trip this time, usually we'd always stay in a hotel that will have a kitchen, or stay with friends or family with a kitchen, because we want to make our own food. This time, we're here just for a short trip, and I was like, you know what? We can go out to eat so many more restaurants. Like, let's just stay in a hotel and, like what other people do when they go somewhere. So we're staying in the hotel. We're able to eat. They have a breakfast there, and they have the allergen information, which is really great because some don't do that. So they have their binder, and every morning when I come up, I'm like, can I see the binder? And they show it to me. And it's just so nice to, like, be able to do those things and not to, like, be like, oh, we need to bring our food and check it. But even everywhere, even here, I had someone heard me in the morning checking, and they were kind of watching, and I was like, oh, am I in the way or something? He was like, oh no, he's like, oh, do you have food allergies? I was like, oh yeah, my family does. And he was an older man. He said, oh, I've got an allergy to tomatoes. And he was so interested. And then another woman overheard me. So, like, everywhere I go, people just find this amazing. So,
because it is amazing.
It really is.
And
yeah.
you're amazing, and your story is amazing.
Yeah. But it's definitely the best thing we've ever done, and I would never, ever go back and not do it. So definitely, if you're considering it, do your research, talk to people, and that's the best way for me. I think talking to real patients who've gone through the process, because you can read a website, right? You can read information online, but once you talk to actual people who've been through it, and they can tell you the hard parts and the easy parts and, all of the above, it really just makes it more real for you.
Amen. Amen. So Adonai is 5.
Yeah.
And Eliana is 4.
Yes.
What are Adonai's allergies and what are her allergies?
Yeah, so Adonai's allergies are to cow's milk, peanuts, cashews, pistachios, walnuts, and sesame. And Eliana's she was previously allergic to cow's milk, but she did fortunately grow out of that. She's anaphylactic to sesame only.
So people out there are going to want to follow you. I follow you, like on your trip out here. Oh, they're on the airplane, they landed, they're at the hotel. How can we follow your story?
Yeah, so you can find us. We're the Yunus family. So it's Yunus is YUNUS. We're on Instagram. You probably see us, again, sharing family, busy life, and then also our tip and allergy food life.
It's amazing. I love your Instagram. So you fly from the UK to California. That is an 11-hour flight with toddlers. And often you have come with your entire family. Mm-hmm. You bring everybody, the full boat.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you entertain toddlers on a plane?
It's a lot of prep. So thankfully, because we've flown with them since they were young, they're used to flying. It's not like they've never done it before, but we have all the bells and whistles, the tablets, we have coloring book, whatever is the flight out this time. We took a daytime flight, which Adonai stayed up for the whole 11 hours flight. So at the end of the flight, I think we were laughing and stuff, but we went out and I was getting them to, like, walk back and forth and, like, kind of dance and wiggle just to get out. But usually the best thing we usually do is do, like, the latest flight. So that way they sleep most of it. But usually coming from the UK, the flights don't leave too late. So, like, we get kind of like an afternoon flight. But whenever we leave from LA and go back, we always get, like, that 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock flight. So then they mostly sleep for it. But yeah, we definitely will just use whatever we need to. Snacks, like an abundance of food. Before we were in TIP, we one time flew with Adonai and Eliana to Seattle, where my family is. And on our return flight, I was like, oh, this is great. We have a night flight. Like, they're going to sleep. It's going to be the best flight ever. But there was issues with our flight. So first we were at the terminal and they kept delaying it. Then we got on the plane and it was actually like there was problems with the plane, but they weren't telling us. So they had us on the plane for 4 hours before we actually were not even took off. We were taken off the plane and had to stay extra. So I would just say have as much food as possible, like save food for you and your family, because you don't know if you're going to have delays or anything. So you would just want to have plenty of food. You don't want to be like worried because you can't. At the early stages, definitely, like I would never even, for myself and my husband, we wouldn't even eat the plain food because we just didn't want to eat something that could have
We
dairy in
didn't
it.
either when we would
And
travel.
yeah, we would just bring it for the whole family. But on this trip now, because we don't have to worry about the cross-contamination, I ate a meal on the plane and it was fine. So this trip out was the first time where I felt comfortable to eat the plain food myself, because before I would be scared if I ate it and then touched him or kissed him, something, and there was residue. But now I had a little less baggage. I still brought all the food for the kids and had everything for them, but at least had a little bit less to carry by me being able to eat that food. So it's definitely a lot of prep, but just it's worth it no matter what you do.
It
It's
is
all
worth
worth it.
It is so worth it. So they must know at the clinic, at the Food Allergy Institute, that you're coming from the other side of the planet
Mhm.
for treatment.
Yeah.
What resources does the Food Allergy Institute give domestic and international travelers like yourself?
Yeah. So they'll give you a lot of recommendations for things. So like for hotels, for example, they have a list of hotels that they partner with that also give discounts to Food Allergy Institute patients. So that's really helpful. And also from being out of town, they'll give you recommendations for places to go out to eat that are like allergy friendly, places that are, more safe for you to go. I know a lot of families still want to make their own food and cook their own food. So a lot of the hotels that they partner with have kitchen facilities as well, which is really helpful.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations
Thank you
on
so much.
coming towards the end of TIP. And I can't wait to continue to follow you and watch your story and stay in touch and hear about all of this. I'm just so happy for you and your family. And
Thank you
thank
so
you for
much.
taking the time to talk with us on your trip
I'm
out
so
here.
happy to. Yeah, it's great. So it was great to meet another TIP family and to share the stories with our kids. I think that's what keeps us going,
Yes.
is telling them like, this is going to be you soon. You're going to be able to just eat everything, and this will all just be a distant memory. So
Yes, it will. You were proof to me that you will go to the end of the earth, literally the other side of the world, for your kid.
100%.
That's what you do. And that is amazing. What a gift you've given your children and what you've taught your children too. The love and the care and the devotion and the sacrifice that you have put them and your family above you, above everything to do this program. And I really, really, really commend you. And
Thank you.
I've learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from you, and you just warm my heart. You really do. So thank you for being here today and sharing your story. You're going to help a lot of people out there. Thank you so much for joining us today on this very special episode of Resilience and Hope, a Food Allergy podcast. We would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, ideas for future episodes, please write us. Our email address is resilienceandhopepodcast@gmail.com. And we have social media. Please follow us at Resilience and Hope Podcast. And please, wherever you listen to your podcast, give us 5 stars. 5 stars will help other listeners out there searching for food allergy-related podcasts find us and listen to our show. So please give us 5 stars. And until next time, I'm Lesley-Anne Stone. Resilience and Hope Podcast is made possible thanks to the support of the Food Allergy Institute.